If a Trash Taste member got isekai'd, would we continue Trash Taste?
What the fuck? Can I have that for like 2 minutes?
What's that?
Can I cop that?
This is like, this is apparently meant to be a neck cooler and not a sex toy.
Can I try this?
It definitely
Dude,
looks.
that is a double penetration machine if I've ever seen it. That's a DP machine, bro. You just fucking do that.
Daddy! Ah!
All right, guys. You don't want these, right?
I'll take one.
All right. Well, Connor's got the fucking
Ooh, it's cold.
BDSM. All right, I'm putting this all over my sweaty body. So good luck.
All right, should we introduce that? What the next? All right. So
All right.
If you just tuned into the stream, I'm so sorry.
Okay.
welcome back to another Trash Taste After Dark, where today we're going to be finding out if all trash members, if all
Trash members.
if all Trash Taste members, do they think the same?
Yes.
We all have the
Yeah.
same opinions on things.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is going to get pretty heated. We're going to have different.
Pretty sure you already know the
opinions
answer to that.
Yeah, which is
I think
probably not.
Sometimes we think the same.
Yeah, sometimes.
We actually have some serious topics here, such as how do we feel about bread?
But basically, the premise of the game, if you never heard of it, is basically we're going to be asked a series of questions. Each of us will have a board, and the aim of the game is to see if all three of us will write down the same answer to that question.
Don't laugh, Kai. This is actually. Really
And then we can either strongly disagree,
Yeah.
Whatever,
Yeah.
meh,
Oh, yeah,
agree,
yeah.
and strongly agree.
Yeah.
What's the middle one? No feelings, no strong. What is the middle one?
I think it's just agree, isn't it?
What's the, no, there's a middle one.
Indifferent.
Indifferent? What is it? What is it?
There's strongly disagree, somewhat disagree, somewhat.
I'm not using somewhat. Maybe I guess we could. I guess
Yeah.
we can have nuanced takes.
So
And-
6 levels. 6 levels. So strongly
Neutral.
disagree.
Neutral.
Yeah, okay, let's do 7.
No feelings.
Strongly disagree.
Brain empty.
Yeah, let's write brain empty.
brain empty.
Okay, so it's strongly disagree, disagree, somewhat disagree, brain empty, somewhat agree, agree, or strongly agree.
I'm gonna write this down.
No offense, but 720p seems not as good. Wait, are we streaming in 720p? Did we do that?
Did we? Are we doing that right now? We wouldn't do that.
Oh, there's no way. There's no. Oh no, yeah, we're 1080p. Yeah.
Okay. We are not the smooth brain one. Chat.
Chat.
All right.
Come on,
So I think the question, because we heard some of the questions the other day, and some of them are pretty thought provoking questions.
yes.
I might add.
So there'll be some good
Thought-provoking.
discussions, I think.
And some of them are just fucking memes.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get a mixture.
All right.
All right, Nabi. No Final Fantasy questions, okay?
Yes.
What is your
Hopefully.
feelings on Final Fantasy 16?
What are your feelings about Clyde's penis? How big do you think it could be?
Oh,
I mean-
how do you answer that with somewhat agree?
Do you agree with his penis?
Clyde's penis is massive. Would you strongly agree?
Would you take Clyde's penis?
Agree.
Strongly agree.
Discuss.
Strongly agree. All right.
All right.
So Nabi's going to read out the questions. We're going to write them down.
All right.
Discuss.
Is your mic on, Nabi, or do we have to repeat your question?
Hello,
Can
chat.
everybody hear Nabi?
Can everyone
and his
hear
sultry
Nabi?
voice?
Can you hear
Would
me?
you motorboat Clyde's?
Strongly
Strongly
agree.
agree. Strongly agree.
Joe can get out of here.
All right.
I looked at Jill and I was like, God, I wish that was me.
All right. Let's start with the first question.
Okay.
I'll take Sid any day though. Sid?
Ooh, his voice.
All right.
Sorry.
All right.
Get in the pics, love. Go on, have a
Question
suckle.
is. I'll wait. I'll wait.
Sorry. Nabi.
He's fucking lightning, mate, innit?
I'll wait.
You want to see my lightning rod?
Sid, I didn't
All right.
think it would go this big. What are you putting in front of my face, Sid?
You really are dominant. I guess I'm a submissive.
Oh, the ads.
Oh my God.
Right before we got into it.
Well,
Right. Well, congratulations, YouTube watchers. You don't have to suffer the ads. All right. Well, I say, fuck them.
Should we just go for it?
Go for it. They should prime up.
Yeah, they should
Get the primes
They
out,
should
huh?
prime up.
They should prime up. You don't want to see ads? Prime
to
up.
me,
Yeah.
Prime to God. Wait, that's not how primes work.
Like Sid,
Prime the fuck up, Kyle.
like Sid,
Where
like
is
Clive.
your prime?
We should be priming up.
All right. Let's anyway. Let's
Are we good, gentlemen?
Yeah, we're good.
We good?
We good. Let's go.
All right. All right. The first question is, anime can make you smarter.
Okay.
Shit. This is kind of hard, actually.
Yeah, that's actually kind of hard. How serious? Are we taking this like 100% seriously, right, guys?
I'm gonna take this 100% seriously.
All right, if we are, can I actually look at my anime list just so I can like, because there's obviously we can fucking meme this up, but I'm like, okay, let me take this seriously for a second to see if there's any value.
Okay, I think I have a.
The question was, chat. Nabi, go ahead and tell them again.
Yep. So the question is, anime can make you smarter.
Okay.
So we should walk to the one side of the couch.
All right. Oh,
Is the question's on screen or no?
It is.
Oh,
No, okay.
It is. It is.
That's not a question. Okay.
Well, it doesn't. It's a statement.
So-
that we
so-
disagree
statement.
with.
So yeah, it's a statement.
It's a statement.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, first of all, I want to preface the wood can is doing an awful lot of heavy lifting in that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Anything can give you help you learn. Like if I bashed my head against a wall, I could learn something
Yeah.
to not do that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think can is doing a lot of heavy lifting. So I'm kind of ignoring the can and trying to take this as a actual.
Do you
go first then?
I'll say disagree. I don't think watching anime will make you smarter. And you can be like, yeah. What, Dr. Stone, right? But do you remember anything from Dr. Stone?
I didn't even finish it.
Yeah, exactly. It was a shit show. Like I think you can theoretically learn anything, but I think like what we're talking about, like actual knowledge, I disagree.
Yeah, I said somewhat disagree. Because I think there are a lot of shows that kind of explore smart topics, and like for example, Dr. Stone, right? Like there is like actual scientific shit that is in that show that applies to the real world. But I'm saying somewhat disagree because no one watches shows like that and actually implements it in real life, right? It's all in the field of entertainment. So it's like you don't watch it as any kind of like educational thing. You can get education from it, but that's not the main purpose that people watch anime. They watch it just to turn their brains off, and there's a lot of like other smarter shows out there, like fucking Spice and Wolf, right? Like I learn a lot about economics from Spice and Wolf. Does that make me smarter about economics though? No.
I think the anime fans are praying that Gant's coming in with the agree here.
I somewhat
go.
agree.
Oh, okay.
So I think I genuinely think that all media can make you smarter in a very, very general term. Obviously,
you clearly have not watched Teletubbies.
I think most
That made a whole generation of kids dumb.
I think most anime made me dumber.
it depends on it depends on like how you approach media. Okay,
Yeah.
even just watching something like say Evangelion, right? You might not really know or understand it because only people with like 500 IQ will like enjoy and understand Evangelion. But just by viewing media critically, it forces you to think about things on a deeper level and view things more critically, which is something that I think is something you can see is a life skill that you can put anywhere in life, because looking at life and looking at situations critically is an important life skill.
Okay,
Someone in the comments said, legit was smart as fuck before I watched anime. I think, yeah, you can take that to any kind of media.
Yeah, see, okay,
Yeah.
I
think
get
that's a different interpretation of we
I
interpret
get
the
what
question
you're
differently.
saying about like being able to like watch a piece of media, and the more I guess intelligent quote unquote shows you watch, the
Yeah.
more you learn to like dissect it. But I feel there's a lot of people who, one, don't really want to do that with the media they watch, especially anime. Two, are just incapable of doing so, no matter how much they watch.
Yeah.
And three, what is the boundary between being smarter and being more pretentious?
Well, it's like smart.
true. I agree.
Smarter is a very subjective term.
Yeah.
To me, it's smarter is by gaining more knowledge about something, right?
Yeah.
And even if you don't watch anime like fucking Cells at Work, which is literally like an anime designed for like teaching people about the body, right? If you just watch enough anime, like you, for example, you learn about Japanese culture. A lot of people, they don't go into anime to learn about Japanese culture, but you watch enough of it and you have more of an understanding about Japan and Japanese culture.
But I feel, again, that's another double-edged sword because there's a lot of people who take anime and be like, oh, this is what Japanese culture is like. And then they come to Japan and make for themselves.
It's not what Japanese culture is like, but you have a deeper understanding than I would on a country that I've like never
of
seen any
course.
media about,
Yes.
know anything about. You know, like
I think if you only experienced Japan through anime, you'd have a
Yeah,
very weird view.
Yeah,
I'm not-
I wouldn't say you're smarter.
I'm
about
not saying you
Japan.
become a Japanese expert, but that's why I said I somewhat agree. Like
Yeah.
you can get like
See, I get what you're saying, but I said somewhat disagree.
What the lolly vampires at, huh?
That's the thing. It's like I said somewhat disagree because it's all dependent on how that person consumes and then regurgitates that information that they learn through anime, right? Like obviously some people can watch anime and go, okay, they're clearly using references to Japanese culture that actually exist. But if they're smart enough to understand that there are things that are clearly just anime only and things that actually exist in Japan, then sure. You can say that they have become smarter in Japanese culture, but there's a reason why weebs exist. And it's because not everybody can discern the
Would
difference.
you agree that you could learn maybe bad information or bad habits?
You
from
could just
anime?
learn misinformation from anime. That
I mean,
doesn't
you
make
could,
smarter.
but like, you know, like sometimes you need to trick your kids into eating their food. And I just like being a fucking Fate fan. I've like gathered like historical facts and facts about mythology that I would have never known if I didn't go into a fucking rabbit hole.
I just want you to go
Like-
up to like a historian being like, yeah, so King Arthur was a hot chick.
Yes. Yes, she is.
Clearly.
I think we've done a fantastic job here of discussing this topic.
Yeah,
I think we
Yeah.
have different views on this, and that's okay.
That's fine.
That's fine.
That's fine.
Let's go to
Yeah.
the next
All
question.
right, let's go next question.
All right. Oh, that was an interesting one,
Yeah,
actually.
that was
Probably
That was
the
a pretty
most.
tough, controversial one.
Let's reiterate to, instead of saying question, statement.
Yeah, statement.
Statement.
Okay.
And then let's have a discussion regarding that.
Okay,
Whether
okay.
we disagree.
Okay.
All right. Next one is gaming was better 15 to 20 years ago.
Gaming was better 15.
Gaming was better in the early 2000s.
Yes.
I mean,
This is hard.
So which time period are we talking about?
Early 2000s. So gaming was better in the early 2000s. What was it? Gaming was better in the early 2000s compared to now? Or
Yes.
gaming was better now compared to the early 2000s?
Gaming was better then.
Oh, gaming was better then than it is now.
Yes.
this thing did not last long.
This is gone already.
Yeah.
It's bad. Sorry. Yeah, that's not good.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Who wants to go first?
Okay. I strongly disagree with this statement.
Okay.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I just said disagree.
Okay, so we all disagree with this.
we all disagree with this.
My reasoning is because
Fortnite didn't exist.
TFT wasn't around. No, I think whichever generation you grow up in, you'll always think that is the best period of gaming because that's
Yes.
when you could enjoy gaming the most.
Of course.
Yeah.
But how are you going to tell me that, yeah, we have microtransactions and shit, but they had fucking ET back then and like all
Yeah.
every era had dog shit games.
Yeah.
But it's easy enough to be like, yes, I think I'll play Elden Ring and not Subway Surfers. It's not hard to pick and choose the good games. You know what I mean? Don't act like you're being forced to play dog shit games. You can just stop playing them.
Also, this is like early 2000s era, and I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure this was the era where we had like an
I know
absolute
ET 's older than
boatload of like horrible Game Boy Advance ports and like just like absolute
Fucking
bargain bin
Dalmatians on the fucking Game Boy I played.
Yeah.
I paid money for that.
Yeah, those are
Yeah.
the bargain bin
Yeah.
games were like so much more. And also, I think now like getting rid of the whole nostalgia glasses thing because
Yeah.
obviously as, you know, in our age group who, you know, played a lot of fucking great games in the early 2000s, right? Like, I'm sure we all have 1 or 2 or 3 games during that period where we're like, yeah, that was the best fucking thing. I used to play it all the time. Like, yeah, sure.
Actually, this guy mentioned cool math games. I want to change my answer.
Can I ask, Nabi, is this the only X was better in the past statements that we have? Or is
so you're basically comparing something from now to then?
yeah. In terms of like media?
Is there one for like anime or like movies or anything like that?
There's another. We do have another statement.
So I said, hi, I'm new. Why is there a cock next to Deku?
That's Michael Reeves.
Like, I feel like this question would be a lot more difficult with different types of media other than gaming.
You got a great D there.
Oh, thank you very much.
Fantastic D.
That's
like
a thick D.
Like Sid's D, man.
Oh, if you're asking for like a different, so instead of other gaming and comparing it to back then, no.
Okay.
Similar to that.
Okay. Because I will say I would have a lot harder like time answering this question if it was, let's say, movies or let's say music or something like that. I think games as a medium is inherently like part of it is very much tied to the tools that game developers have in the modern day. Obviously, technology has increased, game development budgets have gone up, teams have gone like exponentially higher to develop a game. And I think what that means is, one, the gaming industry is bigger, so there's more choice of games, so you don't just get the big AAA games as well. But games have a potential to be on a scale that no previous game 15 years ago could even come close to.
Course.
We get such interesting stories as well from like indie games and stuff like that. That's, I think, great.
Yeah, I mean, games have always been really fucking good. Obviously, I have some of my favorite games which come from 15 years ago, but that's because I fucking grew up in those era.
Yeah, of course. You're always going to have like a special part of you who loves those kinds of games. But if you look at it from, say, like, if a kid today was shown Final Fantasy 16 versus Pokemon Gold, they're probably going to pick Final Fantasy 16 just because it looks better, it's more intuitive, like the gaming.
Do you think a kid will pick Final Fantasy or Pokemon? No way.
Well, Pokemon Gold?
Oh, Gold, yeah.
Like, I'm talking like early 2000s, right? Like Game Boy. Would they pick a Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance game over a PS5 game? Or a Nintendo Switch game? I don't know. I think they'll pick the newer console.
We didn't have 15 years ago. That's why I'm sticking with my statement.
Okay, let's, can I pivot the question a bit?
Sure.
Do you think that the game industry was better 15 years ago? Not games, the game industry.
I think it's always been kind of shitty for a lot of people. I think it's always, I mean, I think, I don't know.
I don't know. It's hard to say because I don't really know the ins and outs of the game industry.
I'd probably a little bit agree with it, but no, I'd probably somewhat agree.
I would probably somewhat agree with that as well. I think, obviously games have always been about making money, but I think back 15 years ago, they didn't figure out the psychological hack of like, oh, this is how you make money. So what people thought made good money was just making a good video game with a good package.
Well, I guess also, what would you consider the industry? Are you considering like because you can interpret that as one way as a customer of games, but as just like another way of interpreting that is like as like a human being seeing how these game companies operate and like make their workers work overtime, or maybe like they're like sexually because that's all coming out now.
That's all coming out now.
Shit was around. We just didn't hear about it. We didn't hear about the crunches way back then, so we probably thought it was like, oh, it's better. So I think it's easier to think that.
I mostly thought of it as a consumer side, but I mean, definitely the working conditions in the gaming industry.
I think that no game should come at the cost of people's lives being shit.
Well, I mean, from the sounds of it, we all pretty much agree.
We all agree on this.
Sweet.
Okay, cool.
Next question. Or next statement, I guess.
Too many greedy practices. Yeah, I think that just comes from games being too expensive to make. Corpos weren't in charge? What do you mean? It's only ever been Corpos.
That's, no.
Unless you've only ever played indie games.
Corpos have always been in charge, just the mentality was different.
What do you mean? Like Nintendo, Sega, and Sony are all giant corporations. What are you talking about?
All right.
All right.
Next statement.
Next statement is, if I could go back in time.
So sexism didn't exist. Sorry, someone said. Sorry.
All right, next statement is, if I could go back in time to change things, I would.
Cool. That's a great question.
If I could go back in time
This is a deep one.
to change things, I would.
Anything in my life.
Yes.
Or just anything in history?
No, it's your life. I think that question normally means about you. Obviously, if I could go back in history, I'd be like, hey, leave that bat alone or something.
No, Connor would be the type of motherfucker to go back to like the 1300s being like, no, she's definitely a witch.
I'd go back to like 2 months ago to be like, no, Connor, don't watch Oshinoko. Don't watch it. You're not going to like it. Don't watch it, Connor.
Save yourself.
Don't watch 86 while you're at it. Go back and save Harambe. Be there when the kid falls in.
Okay.
Oh my god, my head went like whoosh from all the heat. We have some more water desu. Mizu desu ne? Sumimasen. Onegaishimasu. Thank you so much. Thank you. Please. Yeah, a lot of people do this online joke that like it all started going wrong after Harambe died, which is kind of interesting because it's true. That's what happened.
We lived in a world of peace before while Harambe
We were all
was
in
alive.
harmony until that monkey died. That monkey died.
Save Steve Irwin. I would.
It's just about we're only referring to our own lives.
Yes,
Sure,
only
sure,
referring to
sure.
our own lives. If you could go back in time, you would change something about your own life.
Sure. All right.
All right, should we reveal?
Yeah.
Do you want to go first, Joey?
Okay. I'm going to say somewhat disagree. Yeah. What do you got?
I think I know what Connor put.
I put
Yeah, I put slightly agree.
strongly disagree.
Let's mix things up a little bit. Here.
Okay.
I'm a strongly kind of guy in general.
Yeah.
With my feelings. I think my strongly disagree comes from the fact that I think you need to fuck up to be a human
Yeah,
being.
absolutely.
You have to learn from your mistakes, and accepting those mistakes is part of that. So if you've made a regret, hopefully it wasn't
You
too
wrote
bad.
stongly.
I would like to change it now to strongly.
I would like to go back 5 seconds.
My point being is that
Is that like the stonks of strongly?
that's how strongly I agree.
Strongly disagree.
Strongly, all the heat is fucking with my brain. I think being human is being able to accept your mistakes and move on from them. And
Yeah.
you got to have regrets. You got to have some regrets. But I think also accepting those regrets is important. And I think I'm doing pretty good now. I wouldn't want to change things. Well, who knows what might if I did that one thing that I fucked up, if that might have changed everything, and I would have been working at McDonald's again.
Yeah, exactly.
Never left.
I'm pretty happy,
Strongly kinda
with
guy.
like I think everyone in life has been through some shit at one, maybe multiple stages in their lifetime, and yeah, sure, it fucking sucks, of course, but it's what made you like now.
Yeah.
And if you like that, which I sure do, and I'm sure Connor does as well with himself, because he loves himself. He strongly disagrees with it. Then
I'm keeping it strong.
yeah, like I think, obviously, maybe there are some like small little things in life, or maybe like, like, oh, I wish I could have, said this differently, or like I could have maybe, done maybe like a small event differently. But any kind of like big change, no, I'm pretty happy with it. Like, yeah, sure. I'm aware that I might have potentially fucked up in my life, but that's
You have to.
how I
You gotta
got.
fuck up.
Yeah.
Everyone fucks up.
I learned from that, and now I'm a better person because of it. So, yeah. What did you say? Slightly agree.
I said slightly agree because I think like the Sigma answer is being like what you guys said, being like, I'm happy with myself. Every mistake I made along the way shaped the person I am, and I wouldn't change any of that.
That's such a good answer.
And I'm like, yeah, I do agree with like some philosophy behind that. You need to fuck up. You need to make mistakes. And would I want to change the person I am today? No. Would I want to change, would I maybe want to change some of the lessons I had to learn along my life in order to get here? I mean, there are so many things that have happened in my life. Some weren't the greatest moments of my life, and I think back, and it's just like, can I learn these same lessons without feeling the pain or the suffering that I went through? And I'm like, I would be lying if I would say that if I could go back in time and be like, hey, Gant, you can learn this lesson, just don't make this massive fucking mistake, and you'll feel like a lot less pain, and there'll be a period of your life where you won't fucking hate for a while. Then I think that a lot of people have kind of a period of their lives where they're like, you know what? It made me the person I am today, but did I become that person in spite of what happened or because of what happened, you know?
It definitely helps.
It definitely happens.
Honestly, I think I'm worried because my first thought was, fuck, it sounds like so much effort to go back and fix stuff. I'm just too lazy to go back and fix it.
Also, you never know. It might end up like programmer's dilemma of like, you fix one bug, you make 10 more, right?
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
what's to say that won't happen?
It could be. It could be. I mean, like, you could go back and fucking Miguel could like show up and be like, this is a canon event. Get the fuck out.
Don't do this. Don't do this. Get the food poisoning, Connor.
Say this is not an illness. Say it.
You need to get sick right now.
But yeah, I feel like, there's a lot of things, especially as a kid, right?
Yeah.
It's, as an adult, I've realized it's way easier to learn something, to be on the right path, than unlearn something and then set yourself on the right path.
Yes.
And there are so many issues I have had to deal with as an adult that were normal for me growing up, that only when I grew up, I was like, oh, I was like really like wrong about this way of thinking for like fucking 25 years of my life. And then it took like 2 years to like break out of that habit and then set myself in like the right mindset. And to me, I'd be like, as a parent, because a lot of this is to do with upbringing and the environment you grew up in, if you could just, as a kid, you're a blank slate. If you could just set yourself on the right path instead of being like, you're on the wrong path and you're going to realize that 20 fucking years down the line, and then you're going to be like, why the fuck was I doing this for all this time? I would just be like, why don't we just, why don't I try to set myself on the right path?
Fair enough.
That's why I somewhat agree.
Sure.
Good answer.
Sure.
Good answer.
All right.
Great answer.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Even
Even though all of our answers were different, we somehow agreed on what everyone said.
Everyone's answer is supposed to be different.
Yeah.
Very deep.
Valid.
Very
It's all valid.
Gaunt kids confirmed.
It's all valid.
All
right. Next statement.
Next statement.
So what's a daddy? Thank you for that. Asian dude on couch. Thank you.
It's a pretty good one. If a Trash Taste member got isekai'd, would we continue Trash Taste?
What the fuck?
What question is this?
You just saying if someone died?
Isekai'd.
That's dying.
They might come back.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like Isekai Oji-san.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Isekai.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, I got it. This is just dark timeline, isn't it? Yeah. All right, I got my answer. You thinking about this, bro?
I just don't know. What's the angle?
What's the angle?
What's the angle?
What's the angle?
Well, think about it in the opposite perspective.
Are we like hyped that he got isekai'd? Like you were like, yo, he finally got to go.
I mean, he'll definitely
maybe if it's me.
Like if Gaunt got to go, I think we'd be like, hey, fuck her.
Well, think about it in the opposite perspective, right? If you got isekai'd, would you want me and Gaunt to continue Trash Days?
I guess I'll go from it from that perspective.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, what was the statement?
If one of the members got isekai'd, would you continue Trash Days without them?
That's not a agree or not, right? That's
maybe you would continue Trash Days.
You would
saying
you would continue Trash
Is
Days.
that the statement?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the statement. So you would continue Trash Days.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. Got answers?
All right.
I said strongly disagree because it's not Trash Taste without the three of us, you know?
Yeah. Same brain cell.
I think there's a point there. I should agree. If I got isekai'd, I think you should continue.
No, I don't want to continue if you got this.
If I got isekai'd, you should continue.
If I got isekai'd, you guys should continue.
So okay. So wait, because this question changes the perspective of who if I die or get isekai'd, I'm like, yeah, go for it.
Okay, but what if, say, Gaunt or I got isekai? Would you continue it?
I'd be like, did he leave a note or something?
Okay.
Did he say anything? Or
Okay. Let's change the question slightly.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. I feel like there's so many caveats to this.
Okay. Let's make the question more specific.
All right.
If one of us got isekai'd but left a will saying, "Continue trash taste,"
Okay.
what would you do?
Would you continue it?
Would you continue?
Are we just saying continue or not here? What are we
Continue.
Or like,
You would continue it.
yeah,
So,
you would
so
continue
if
it.
one of us other than yourself got isekai, but they left a will to say continue trash taste, you would continue trash taste. Agree or disagree?
I mean, it's kind of tough, actually.
So basically, you have the blessing of the isekai person to be
Okay,
like,
okay.
continue,
Okay.
and no bad blood.
Kind of an uncomfy question. Well, we're all friends here. We don't
Yeah.
mind talking about this stuff.
Yeah.
We're all adults.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's uncomfortable for the other. They're like, no, they'll break up. No.
Okay.
This is the moment that trash taste breaks up.
They're saying, aware, please stop. Chat, we're going to have to break up at some point in the future.
Okay.
This is a canon timeline, chat. This is a
Yeah.
this is canon.
This is going to be
a canon event.
Okay,
Yeah.
This is going to be in the what happened to trash taste.
So it looks like they're foreshadowed it years before.
Guys,
I say disagree.
this is actually an announcement.
I say disagree. Because I know that even if, say for example, Gaunt got isekai'd or Connor got isekai'd and they left the world being like, I want you to continue trash taste, I'll be like, I mean, sure, but our audience is going to be pissed. So, yeah, I wouldn't feel comfortable with it.
Yeah, I still strongly disagree.
Yeah.
I got a star. I got an asterisk with the continue here. There's a caveat. There's a caveat.
Okay.
I think that you, as the show people, whatever you host, whoever's left, so
Yeah.
let's say I left or whatever, if you left,
Yeah.
I would feel like there should be at least like a little bit of a farewell, a few episodes, 1, 2, 3, maybe talking about the good memories of Trash Taste,
Yeah.
talking about it, so you kind of continue it, but you kind of like letting it all fade out, because I think it's a little hard for viewers to accept it sometimes. So if you give like 1 or 2 episodes being like, all right, guys, it was a good time. Remember that time when Connor said Oshinoko was dog shit? I remember that. You know what I mean? So I think that's
Yeah.
something like that. I think that's
But hold on. If they got isekai'd, like out of nowhere,
yeah.
then you wouldn't have enough time to like break it down, like, or fade it out, right? Because you're not. One day you're there, and the next day you're not there.
If you left a will, you must have been fucking planning it, cheeky.
You're just standing by the side of the road, like, waiting for the truck, like,
That just got way more morbid, actually. Now that I think about this question,
this is like continue trash.
now that I think about this question,
saying that like you're gonna jump in front of a truck and you left a note.
It's like continue trash it. All right, truck's coming. Here we go.
yeah, I mean, I would like to say, the only reason I say
It is just a suicide note. If you look into it, no, the dog has moved on to a good place. The Doggo Land.
It's just not in this world anymore. Yeah.
yeah, I think if one of us, even if it wasn't isekai but chose to leave, I think we all have enough of an understanding to, instead of trying to continue Trash Taste, start something new.
Yeah.
You know? I feel like we
good taste. Make it good.
make it good taste.
Better taste.
Make it Trash Taste 2.
The sequel.
The sequel.
The trashing.
I'm making Trash 2, actually.
Well, I think reminiscing and being a part of that is important. It's important, a part of almost like grieving something. Almost, I think so.
Yeah.
I think it helps.
Yeah.
So that's my thought process.
Yeah, I don't expect you guys to just completely give up what we've built up and the team and stuff like that. But
bastard, I got to deal with fucking ending the rent. You don't have to do that. That's unfair.
All right.
all right.
Next
I
statement.
hope the next one's like pee pee poo poo.
Yeah.
I don't feel good unless I take a big shit in the morning. Agree or disagree?
Strongly.
Stonkly agree.
Every time we write strongly, we just get more and more off base.
Stung.
All right, the next statement.
Right, the next statement is, I miss school.
Oh,
All right.
I miss school.
ads.
Ads?
Prime the fuck up, bro. Prime the
What I'm
fuck
hearing
up.
is poor. Stop being.
What I'm hearing is a skill issue.
Step the fuck up, Kyle. Prime the fuck up. Okay, so the statement is I miss school.
There's so many
Chat should
non-subs in the chat. Look at all
Chat
those
should get
non-subs.
primed. Strongly disagree or agree?
We should buy Trash Taste merch at trashtaste.co right now.
Stonkly agree.
Stonkly agree.
Stonkly agree.
Stream more than twice a year and I'll sub. Yeah, actually, that's
Yeah, that's fair.
That's very
fair.
valid, actually.
Valid,
You actually
valid.
shouldn't. You actually shouldn't
yeah.
sub. You should
okay.
not sub.
So what's the fucking question again?
The question is I miss school.
I miss school.
This is like all school, right? Like elementary, high school, university
school-
included?
Yeah, we could include school. It's
Just
basically
any kind of school.
Well, I think you take that into the entirety.
Right, right.
Education. You're like, well, this part was good, so maybe I somewhat disagree. Or, you know. Whole education life.
Sure. Okay.
All right.
What do we got?
John?
I am neutral.
Joey? You guessed it. Disagree.
Not Stongley?
No, actually, yeah. I
Wow,
should've-
this is the most we've ever been like
Yeah.
separated
What do
in
they
terms
do?
of
What do they do? What do they get rid of? The stop.
the R. You got rid of the R. That's Stong. That's the funniest word I've ever heard.
Strongly. Wrongly disagree. I do not miss school whatsoever. You agree you miss education a little bit?
I miss a little bit of it.
Okay,
Yes.
and Gaunt, you indifferent.
There are some things I miss, and there's some things I fucking don't miss at all. So it all kind of like equals out.
Although there are some fond memories there, I think my life became much better when I left. I didn't realize I was kind of depressed whilst I was there. Didn't realize until I was like not depressed, and I was like, oh, wonder why I was just sad most of the time, and I just only wanted to play games to escape it. Yeah, I just didn't really enjoy it, and I finally felt that when it kind of stopped being an education, I kind of felt like I kind of try and explore and do things I wanted to do. Is when my life really became a lot better. So for me, I definitely don't want to go back.
Yeah.
I can't spell neutral. Yeah, you're right, chat.
Neutral.
Neutral.
Why did you say neutral?
I said neutral because so I'm guessing we're just talking about school life in general.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, education, school.
Yeah,
life.
yeah. So I believe overall I am happier after I left school. I think I met the fucking friends I actually have like made that, you know, will make for life after like education ended. I generally think my life is a lot happier than when it was in school. But I also think that there is something nice about the whole school life. I will never have another period of my life where I will have basically no responsibilities and no guilt for just doing what I want.
Yeah.
And, you know, I will never have another period of my life where it's kind of like you have summer holidays, which is 6 weeks where you have this period of time where you can fuck off and do whatever you want.
Dude, Australia, we had 2.5 months.
2.5 months? Yeah.
It was sick.
And someone said that ain't school. I mean, that's like part of the school cycle.
Yeah, that's
to
part of
me.
the school cycle.
That's part of being that age. That's part of being in education, you know?
Oh.
Yeah.
So I don't miss school life. What I miss is the kind of like
outside of school.
outside of school, the kind of like my own
So
mentality.
you miss being young?
Yeah, I guess so. I don't miss being young. It's kind of like
Yeah.
I miss it because I know I will never get that again in my life.
Right,
Yeah.
but you just said that you don't miss school, you miss outside school.
Yeah.
Which is not school.
I mean, I said it's kind of like
Yeah,
the cycle of being in school
Right,
and in
right, right. I get
education.
that, I get
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I think for me, like, you know, I think the part about like having no responsibilities and everything like that, and just, you know, during summer holidays or whatever, you can just like fucking spend all day inside playing games, doing whatever, right? Like that's great. Like, and we'll never get that really until retirement for us. But at the same time,
it's going to be completely different as well.
Yeah, exactly. You know? But I think like, at least for me, like what I really missed about school is the fact that like, for one, like, there is never going to be another period in my life where I'll be able to like go to school and see my friends almost every single day. And like that kind of friendship, although a lot of people don't pursue it after school because, you know, you're on separate ways and you grow up and stuff like that. While you're there, like those are like the closest fucking people to you, especially if you have a good friend group, which luckily I very much did. But you know, I think it's that feeling of just like being able to like meet people that are just so familiar to you and it just becomes a part of your life. And, you know, sure, there might be like stressful moments where you have to do tests or, you know, you got to think about like fucking getting into university or, you know, whatever it might be that you're doing. But like, I think that along the whole way was just a really enjoyable experience for me because that kind of stress and that kind of, I guess, you know, fun is something that can't be replicated as an adult.
No, what I'm hearing is that Joey wants to watch anime.
Also, a load of anime.
That sounds like that just sounds like most anime plots.
And I can't do that anymore because I have obligations.
Yeah.
You describe most anime plots.
Yeah.
I think another thing that I do miss as well is this feeling.
Someone said, school was the last time I talked to a girl my age. No.
That can be taken very wrongly.
Wait, hold on a second.
You should have kept that in the drafts, bro.
I do think another thing that's underrated about like the whole school cycle is that no matter what, like every year you will always feel like you are progressing in something in life, and you can like autopilot that shit.
Yeah.
Because when you go out of school, you kind of realize that responsibility is on yourself to find purpose in your own life.
I wanted that though.
You wanted that?
I wanted responsibility and I wanted that because I didn't like that I had to rely on people all the time. Even like my parents and stuff. I was like, man, I wish I didn't have to. Like, I wish I didn't need them.
Yeah.
To be a human being. Because I think being human is also giving back and doing your part in a weird way as well.
I think though the feeling of progression in school is also just all within how you feel about it, right? Because like, you know, the school board and all that will convince you being like, yeah, you're progressing in life. We're teaching you everything we need to teach you. You know, the teachers are there, have your back, and you know, you're advancing years. So you're getting older, you're getting more intelligent. But I think at the end of the day, it's all about like, well, do you feel like you've progressed in school? And if the answer is no, then
I mean, you didn't have to think about it too deeply. But as an adult, you can have like
you can think back
5 years.
now.
You can think of like 5 years in your life, and you're like, fuck, I did nothing because no one told me to do anything. And like some people get that.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't want to be told what to do.
Yeah.
I just wanted to do what I wanted to do. I mean, yeah. It's like when I went to university, I was like, oh, can I go to a faraway one? And they were like, what? I was like, no, I just want to like have to figure it out.
Yeah.
Like I didn't want to. I really missed my parents a lot, and I love them a lot. But I just needed that challenge of being far away and having to figure it all out on my own because that's what I wanted. I needed that.
All right, different takes. Interesting.
Yeah,
that was an interesting one.
Now that our audio is fixed, let's move on to the next statement.
All right. Let's get the... Hold on, let me get this.
Next question.
It's hot as balls in here.
It is.
These are the deepest conversations I've heard from the Boiis since they debated pizza crust.
Glad to know that's where our standards lie.
Hey, it's real shit.
All right.
God. Oh, God. I'm just thinking of that stupid meme that I can't talk about on stream. The one with the rats.
Oh, yeah.
What?
You know the meme with the rats?
No.
I'll show you it later.
Oh, yeah. Actually, I remember.
It's such a bad meme. I can't.
All right. Let's go. Next statement.
Our next statement is, I like being a creator.
All right.
I like being a creator.
All right.
Hold on. Okay. Okay. I said strongly agree.
I just said strongly agree.
Stonk agree.
Stonk agree.
I mean,
I think we can all say.
I think we have to remember as well, and the viewers as well, is that we're obviously very, I think it's fair to say that we're pretty successful at being creators, and so it allows us a lot of freedom, and we get pretty good money too. We do okay, so I think it's hard not to enjoy it when it can kind of accommodate your life and you like making stuff.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, like, I can definitely see. I think at least with our field of work, I think it's so important on how you as a creator like kind of treat what you make and what you do, because there's a lot of creators, who view it very much in like a corporate setting. Maybe they join like a big company YouTube channel or whatever, and they're basically put into the corporate field, but they're still technically creators.
Someone just said, "I love being rich."
I love being rich. It's great.
I mean, you have to when you talk about your job. Obviously, one of the things that is a very important thing about your job is how much you get paid, right? If you're saying you're doing all your life, obviously it's not the main thing, but it's it helps when you like something and then you also get paid pretty well.
There's obviously demerits of being like, well, you're your own boss, you have to make your own schedule, and if you fuck up, then that's all on you. All the responsibility is all on you, right? And what you put out into the world, whether you like it or not, is going to be the image that the entire world is going to see you in. So that's like very stressful for a lot of people. But I think if you navigate it the right way and you know what you're doing, or you have a better understanding of what you're doing, then I think it's a very rewarding job. Was that too serious? Or
I just don't want to go back to the BBC. Just,
I mean,
it's not that deep for me.
Also in my case, I'd be unemployed. Straight up. I didn't get a job at McDonald's, bro. Do you think I'd be able to fucking work at corporate?
I mean, ultimately, I think we all like what we do, and that's very helpful. Yeah. But also, as somebody said in the chat, it's better to be rich and depressed than poor and depressed. I think that's very true.
I mean, I've been doing this for long enough where I wasn't successful that I've been doing it for long enough. If I didn't enjoy it, I wouldn't do it. I don't know.
I mean, like, I think all of us wouldn't do this if we hated it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think obviously it's the nice Venn diagram, and I think it's one of those things where you talk about work and what you do, and especially because we're creators, it's kind of impossible not to have to acknowledge it that a lot of creators do get paid pretty well. And I think that
a lot of creators also don't.
Yeah, a lot of creators don't. I know. But I think for us to talk about it, it would be disingenuous for us to not be like, hey, obviously it's easier to enjoy it and to think you're doing the right thing when you're like, I also get paid pretty well. Yeah. That's not me trying to be like, oh, I make money. It's like, no, I'm just I'm trying to be real.
I also think the really big merit on creators or like this kind of job field is that you kind of get a choice on what kind of skills you want to learn. Because it's like, if you're working at a corporate job, most of the time there's a set list of like what kind of skills you need to get better at that job or fucking keep that job at all. Whereas with creators, it's like you can kind of choose what kind of life skills or like technical skills you want to learn to improve what you want to make, right? So you kind of get that freedom. So in a lot of ways, if you choose to, you can kind of just, get better at something that you're genuinely interested in.
Yeah, it feels like the most, like at least being a creator, it feels weirdly like being in an RPG sometimes, because you're like, you kind of immediately get results for like learning skills that you can apply. They help buff you, make you better at what you do.
Buff you. I got that creator buff, right? yeah.
And also, I'll be real, being able to take a break is an extreme luxury that we have and that I really, really value, that we can just be like, hey, maybe I don't want to work today. Like, that's huge.
Except you're a streamer, so that's never going to happen.
Have I ever taken that? Fuck no, I haven't. But the fact that I can, if I want to, I really like.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone wouldn't want to be a creator. There are complaints about it. There are negative sides of it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But I think
there's a reason why a lot of kids want to do what we do.
Every day people will like, Connor's balding or make a little KW. I'm like, yeah.
Are you okay, bro?
Wipe away the tears, bro. It's fine.
No, I'm kidding. Obviously there's some downsides, but you deal with it. You deal with it.
It's okay, Connor.
Yeah,
you have money.
Yeah.
I'm going to Turkey, boys.
I mean, it's like, the question is though, like, you guys are talking about like the financial side of it a lot.
So, I think that's just because I think it's, again,
I think that's an unignorable aspect.
Of course there is an aspect to that, but are you saying that you wouldn't do it if you weren't as successful as we are now?
What would you? Sorry. No, I would still be doing it. I mean, I would have been happy making just enough to get by doing Sebastian prank calls.
I mean, we did that for like a very long time.
I did.
I
do
would.
that.
I would still.
But I
be
would have been happy
making-
being at that for a long time.
Yeah, I would still be making YouTube videos while, you know, also having a regular stable job. But
Yeah.
I would be doing it just as like a hobby. Because,
Yeah.
you know, that's how I fucking started
Yeah,
what
I
I
mean,
do in the first place.
The reason why I kept talking about it is because obviously the viewers are going to think, "Wow, look at these guys." Yeah, of course they fucking love it because you know. So I'm trying to be real about it. And be like, yeah, you can make good money, but
Yes.
also let's genuinely just talk about it in an open setting. At least you're bald and okay, thanks. All right, thank you.
Just like Bezos.
You know, he's super villain bald.
I'm looking forward to your super villain.
No, we wouldn't. Yes, you would. I read comments. I know.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Breadcrumbs. Thank you. for the 50,
Yo,
man.
breadcrumbs with the
Yo,
50 tier
thank you very much
subs.
for the
Thank
brief.
you.
Holy shit, 50.
That's a lot.
What?
That's a lot.
What?
Thank you.
What? That's just
Subbaroonies?
Jesus Christ.
God damn.
All right.
Yeah. All right. Let's go. Next statement.
All right. Next statement is, I miss when anime wasn't mainstream. I miss when anime.
That's a great question.
That is a
That's
great
great
fucking
one.
question.
Statement. Sorry.
I'm going to debate that because is it mainstream?
Yes.
Don't be that guy.
Is anime mainstream?
Fuck.
Is anime mainstream? Question mark.
Don't take my job. Please. I should be saying that. I miss when anime wasn't mainstream is the statement?
I miss when Dragon Ball fans weren't mainstream.
Oh my god.
Strongly agree. Okay. Oh my god, another 50 tier sub?
Holy
Breadcrumbs.
shit.
You
And Puppy
don't
with the
gotta.
5 subs
You
as well.
don't
God
gotta.
damn.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Holy shit. That is hype indeed.
Thank you very much. Thank you all day.
Holy fuck.
Thank you all day.
Thank you so much, man. Appreciate that.
It's very stonk of you.
Breadcrumbs goaded. All right.
Okay.
Okie dokie. Who wants to go first?
I
I somewhat disagree.
slightly disagree.
I'm going to say neutral.
What's the difference between slightly and somewhat?
I don't know.
I think it's the same thing.
Oh, okay.
I
So
think we
you
just said
two-
the same
you two have the
thing.
same thing.
Yeah.
I somewhat feels less strong than slightly. Somewhat's more like, slightly's like, all right, a little
Don't
bit.
bring specifics.
I'm just saying. I'm a gamer.
It's the same thing. It's the
Maybe
same.
maybe spell strongly right first, and then you can talk
strongly.
about semantics.
I think, yeah, I think we're all around the same area.
Yeah.
You know, we're all leaning to the neutral, slightly disagree.
Yes.
Yeah.
Area.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Well,
think-
Joey's neutral. So do you
Yeah.
want to kick us off, Joey?
Okay, I
He
think...
doesn't want to get cancelled.
Oh, no. I genuinely think there are a ton of benefits of when
Absolutely.
anime used to be, I guess,
What now?
underground, quote unquote, or less mainstream, because there was kind of this like sense of wonder of this like entire genre of media that wasn't explored and wasn't talked about. And then when you were in that community, it was always a treat to be like, hey, I found this like one anime series, no one's talking about it, and yet it's so good. And there was this like sense of mystery to it, which obviously now with so many more people, you know, talking about anime online, that
Would you change it to?
he changed to strongly agree.
Yeah, because if anime still wasn't mainstream, Joey would still be watching anime.
Oh.
So I miss those days, man. I miss those days.
Damn.
I miss the anime man days, man.
Should I change it?
Well, I actually said somewhat disagree just because, yeah, I think back in the day when someone else watched anime,
Yeah.
you would be able to have a genuine connection with that person and be able
Yeah.
to really, really make a friendship there. And nowadays, because everybody watches anime, you're kind of like, well, sure. Okay,
I'm
you
less
you watch
special.
Like you could watch anime and I can watch anime and we could have watched none of the same shows.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like it's very easy to have that happen. And obviously that aspect of it I miss. But the same side, it's like, well, I think anime is in a much healthier place in general in terms of like being able to consume it. So I think being an anime fan now is better but also, yeah, I mean, that's why it's very somewhat.
Yeah, and that's why I kind of had a neutral where it's like there's benefits and demerits to it going more mainstream than what it used to be. Obviously, you know, the demerits being that the sense of wonder of the entire medium has kind of dwindled a little bit because now everybody is digging up every single show that's coming out, even with like this huge amount of numbers of shows coming out. But then it's also birthed, you know, a lot of like communities, and like now it's not as like, I guess, embarrassing to say that you're an anime fan, and you know it's a little more accepted now, especially compared to like 20 years ago. And like I feel it's also gotten more people into, I guess, exploring mediums that are outside of their own country. Like I feel like, especially like in America, for example, like you fucking look back like 20 years ago and you said like, oh yeah, I like these like Japanese cartoons, then they would have been like, the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Whereas like now it's a little less weird because now it's gotten more commonplace for people to watch anime, even if you have no connection to Japanese culture whatsoever. And I think that's just like driven more interest in Japan as a country. And, you know, if anything's going to fucking help Japan, it's the weebs, bro.
Someone said we used to get bullied for watching anime. Yeah, but so what? That means you were doing something fucking sick.
Yeah.
If you're getting bullied for something, that means he was probably on the up.
Yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons, gaming, all this shit you got bullied for.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't give a fuck about what your hobbies are because someone bullied you for it. Who fucking cares?
Yeah.
Let them go kick a ball around.
Yeah, we all got bullied
Yeah.
liking anime.
I
We're
mean-
still good, bro.
I never once cared if someone, when they were bullying me, that they liked football and that was the common thing. I was like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
You can kick your ball around. I'll go and fucking
You
kill
normie
dragons.
bitch.
Yo, no, I mean,
unless you're an MHA fan.
I mean, I think there are merits and demerits.
Yeah.
There are some things that you miss, as you said. You feel less special for liking anime now. But I think in general, there are more good anime coming out in the modern day than we ever got.
Yeah.
So of course, we just get a lot more shit. There's a lot more isekai. But then, like, we can get a fucking series like Zom 100 that just pops off for
I
absolutely
think
no
the quality
reason.
of shows has definitely picked up in like the visual department, and like now more shows are getting adapted, so we have a higher chance of actually stumbling upon that banger show.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, back when it was still underground, the industry, I feel, wasn't pressured as much to be like, we have to make sure we make good shit that everybody will
day
enjoy.
we'll
and I'm sure some people are going to be like, yeah, but like the fandom's like really toxic now. I would argue, as someone who's been around in the community, yeah, the fandom's toxic now. You know, there are definitely toxic parts of the fandom, especially like, let's say, the shonen fandom. But anime fandom has always been toxic.
Yeah.
Just in different
It's just the
fucking
numbers have
ways.
increased.
It's just the numbers that have increased and people care about different things.
I don't
One
know.
thing,
That's one thing. It's like, I don't understand why people are like, wow, the shonen fandom is so toxic now. Bro, they've always been toxic.
were you around during the Big Three era?
Oh my god. Yes.
Jesus Christ.
Holy
Are we going
fuck.
to call it like...
That was so cringe.
Are we going to pretend that shonen fans weren't always toxic? Also, one thing that I'm glad is dead now is this idea that back in the day, you weren't a real anime fan unless you'd watched this like list of shows that the community had deemed worthy of being like, okay, you're a real anime fan now because you've seen this and this and this and this.
You haven't just watched the Big Three. You've actually explored the medium. I'm like, shut the fuck up.
And now I'm just like, that's just gone, partly because the anime community is like segregated into not just the anime community, but different segments of the anime community. But also people just realize how fucking dumb that is.
Yeah.
You know, just
like, you know, keeping a medium from a country or not even.
Yeah.
That's cringe.
The fandom is toxic now. It was toxic back then. It's just toxic about different things.
So neutral for me.
Yeah. So I'd say on the grand scale of things, it's gotten slightly better.
Next question.
Next question.
Hold up. Let me pull this up on the screen for everyone to see as well.
Can't salty about FMA Brotherhood.
He was never invited into the club.
I was never invited to the club. I'll never forgive the FMA fans.
All right. We have our statement on
I'll
screen.
never forgive the chair swivelers.
Yes.
All right.
Okay. I want to live in Japan for the rest of my life.
Oh, that's contentious.
That's a great one.
Want to live in Japan for the rest of my life.
Ooh, that's a good question.
Well, boys. How long is Trash Taste gonna last?
We're about to find
We
out.
are about to find out.
Okay. We all got it?
All right.
Yep.
Uh,
Okay. 3,
I'm gonna
2,
say
1.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, do you want to go? Do you want to go first?
Oh no, we can go 3, 2, 1.
All right,
All right, ready? 3,
3,
2, 1.
All right. I put neutral.
Ooh, everyone.
What'd you put?
I put disagree.
Oh, wow.
I put agree.
With a full spectrum here.
The full spectrum.
The full spectrum.
Well, guys, I mean that's this is the canon event, guys. You know.
07 in chat for Gaunt. It's good to know you.
I should go.
How many years does Trash Taste have left?
Well, do you want to start first?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I feel my answer is pretty obvious. Like, I've spent fucking half my life in this country now, and it's, you know, it's home to me. And, you know, unless there's like, the Japanese government, like, has like a big fuck up where even I'm like, all right, this is just getting ridiculous, then that will probably be the only reason why I would move. Also, I just feel like, you know, in the long run, like, you know, I'm doing the whole YouTube thing now, but say, for example, if YouTube, you know, goes away or I decide to do something else, I just feel like me knowing the language here and English at the same time, I just have more opportunities in this country, I think, than anywhere else. Because, you know, even if I wasn't going to do YouTube full time, I was going to move to Japan anyway.
Yeah.
To like just work as a fucking salaryman. So it's like, I don't think that's changed for me. And yeah, I think, I can see myself being here for the rest of my life.
Fair enough. Yeah, I'm neutral on it. I mean, if you were like, hey, Connor, you're going to only live in Japan for the rest of your life, I'd be like, all right. So cool. I'd be like, that's fine with me.
Yeah.
All right.
Food's bomb. I like it. It feels the most. I know there's ads.
Yeah, I know there's ads. They
Yeah.
can still hear though.
YouTube viewers are the chads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, ultimately, I think I care more about just being happy. And Japan's pretty fucking good. Like you said, I do feel like Japan is my home right now. Like when I travel to the UK or I travel to America, you know, I'm always like, all right, this is cool, but when can I go back to Japan?
Yeah.
Because I just like Japan.
Yeah.
However, I think I probably won't retire here. I think when I get to like age, I can't see myself being here when I'm 60. Like I just can't.
Wow, you'll fit right in with the population.
Yeah, well, I'll be the youngest person in Japan.
Yeah.
I can't see myself being here when I'm like 60. However, I can see myself being here until I'm like fucking 40 something. Easily.
Okay, Gaunt, what'd you say disagree?
Yeah, I mean, if it was just me, I would have no problems living in Japan for the rest of my life. But I'm getting to, I guess, like the age where I have to consider more than just myself. And I've thought about this a lot. And I know that a big crossroads for me, at least personally, is going to be kids.
Yeah.
Like, when I have kids, or when me and Sydney have kids, which we do want to do eventually, not anytime soon, but, you know, eventually down the line.
Yeah.
One thing I generally do not like agree with, not just with Japan, but just with like Asian culture in general, is just how much pressure they put on kids in like the school system, right? How much societal pressure is put on the kid when they're growing up and they're going through school.
Yeah.
And I don't want my kid to go through that. You know, I disagree with that personally, and that's going to be a big thing for me because when that happens, I want my kids to be raised in the right environment, the best environment that
I wouldn't raise kids in Japan.
that I have deemed with my life experience, and I'm like, at least when they're like younger, going through school, I would like them to be raised in a school system that has less societal pressure.
Yeah.
So that's the big thing for me.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much that though.
So what would you say you would put your kids in like a UK school?
Yeah, I think
Or-
UK or just Europe in general has a good balance.
Not an American school?
I feel like, you know, because I have the same feelings of Gaunt on this. You just, I don't know. I feel like you get a really good balance between allowing to have your personality and be yourself.
Yeah.
Whilst also being like, come on, you got to fit in. You
Yeah,
got to do shit.
that is true.
And I think that maybe Australia, has that kind
Yeah,
of.
I mean,
UK, Australia, and Europe has a really good balance of making sure. Because, you know, America, I love America, but sometimes they're like, be yourself too much at the cost of everyone else around you. I think that it's a great thing that you're taught to express yourself, and I'm very envious of that because we never had that. But also, I think people do it, it's gone too far where people don't consider how it affects other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's part of being human is how you affect other people and considering that.
Yeah.
And 'cause,
I agree with that.
People have to live on this earth too. It's not just about you.
Yeah.
We all have to fucking live on this world, you know?
Sure.
So I think it's important that you consider other people and how they feel. But Japan, a little too much sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think as well, like even in like Japan or Asia, I'm sure there are like some schools, like say like an international school, for example, that like might lean more on that individualistic aspect a little more than a regular Japanese school, but like that obviously is going to cost more, or so it's like at that point.
I wouldn't
it's
want my
like,
kid being around like rich kids. I feel like it distorts your view of reality.
I
of
agree
money.
with that actually. I've considered international school, and that is definitely like a possibility.
Yeah.
I am scared of what happens when you have a school with like rich kids and maybe kids with like very, very powerful parents, politically, which is kind of like the environment that school
North
like,
Korea over America.
I don't know about that, Chief.
And of course, I think my kid can still go through a system like that and turn
Someone
out fine.
said your kid is going to be the rich kid.
Dude, even if I had $1 billion, right, my kid is getting fucking nothing.
He's going to a bumfuck public
He
school,
needs
bro.
to fucking get it himself.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
having none of that.
Yeah.
He's never gonna. I would never make my kid be in like medical debt or anything like that. But absolutely, fuck off. You're not having like a business flight or anything like that.
No, fuck off.
You do
Yeah.
not get that.
You do not
That is
deserve
not yours. You did not
Yeah.
earn it.
Yeah.
Go and do that.
Yeah.
You should. Yeah.
I think that every time I see kids in the business
I
class,
hate it when I see it.
I
I'm-
do-
I hate it.
I'm just like, I would have hated you as a kid.
Bro, like,
No, not because I hate kids. I hate kids. No, I'm kidding. No. But I feel like that. I don't know. My parents would have like rather killed me than give me a business
Yeah.
flight, even if they could afford it, which they couldn't. But even if they could have, they'd be like, no way.
Absolutely.
no, my kid's getting the bare minimum of what they need because
Yeah, I know.
a big, like,
Jackie Chan mindset. He had a point. Although his kid had a bit of trouble.
I mean, Jackie Chan also was not there for his kid a lot of the time.
He was just wasn't there.
He's not the best.
He got nothing and he didn't show up.
He's not the best dad. Let's just like put that away.
But
all right?
I want to be there with my kid, but I also don't. I want my kid to be spoiled. I just
Yeah,
think a kid
I don't think I disagree with spoiling your kid too much. And I believe that teaching your kid good
kid's gonna
values.
poison him. Son, it's a tough one. I mean, raising obviously this is it's so easy for me to say that when I don't have to answer to a 10-year-old who's like, oh, can I have this? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
obviously it's easy for me to be like, fuck off.
Yeah.
Go and play with the Game Boy I bought you 5 years ago. Obviously that's really easy to say that now, but obviously when you have kids, obviously all that shit.
Yeah, I think in reality
Yeah.
he's going to be like, all right, you little shit.
Yeah, like I was like very similar to what I was talking about, like international school. I've met rich kids who are like well balanced and have good morals and stuff like
Yeah.
that. I've also met a lot of
Oh
rich
my
kids
God.
who are completely fucked up. And
just like
But you know,
And
the
awful
opposite can
people.
be said. You know, I've met a lot of kids in like when I was in public schools who
Yeah.
maybe didn't have the best like home situation, ended up being fucked up. Some of those kids learnt from that and were really nice kids. So it's
Yeah.
like I think it's a case by case. But
Yeah.
I think the easiest way to make me dislike someone, and it's like easily my biggest like turn off to a human being, is when they're like a rich kid and they brag about spending their parents' money.
Oh my
I think
God.
it's the single most like wormy trait.
that is
and I'm like, just shut the fuck up. I don't care.
dude, that's a gold split to getting punched in the face, bro.
Yeah.
Like that is, don't do that.
I hate that shit.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, child abuse aside, let's move on to the next statement.
All right, let me get the other question and putting it.
Connor, you'll cave and spoil the kid at a moment's notice. I'm holding that one comment when I look at the kid in the eyes and be like, I can't let them be right. I'm sorry.
Have that up on the wall, being like,
Look, what does the sign say, kid?
your kids will be like, Dad, please.
I'm gonna give him a shit name so he 100% gets bullied and he has to figure it out.
this is my son, Sonic Cahoon.
My cunt Cahoon.
Do you want to make this the second last, and then
How long have we been streaming this segment for?
an
Aaron a bit, I think.
hour and 45?
Elon Musk.
Hour and 45?
45.
All right, let's make this the second to last.
Okay, let's do second to
Yeah.
last.
And
Right.
yeah, well, maybe we'll do this segment again because I didn't think we talked this much.
It's a
I
podcast.
don't want to be Connor's son, Lamar. There's got to be a little bit of fear there with your dad. There's got to be a little bit.
Fear is the best controller, actually.
How do you keep the populations at bay? You have to be a tiny bit scared of your dad.
Yeah.
You got to have that little bit of, I shouldn't piss off my dad. You got to have that.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, it's there's a difference between fear and respect.
Well, it's respect. But
Are you saying
respect.
Are you saying respect is fear?
Okay, I had a ton of respect for my dad growing up, but I was also scared shitless of my dad.
I respected him, but I was also terrified of if he got mad, which I think is valid.
Because I respect him, I'm like, I don't want him to get mad.
Yeah, that's the thing. You didn't fear him. You respected him
but
that you
also,
did
I
not
didn't
want
want him to get mad. I also didn't want him to get mad for fear of my life.
Well, the guy shouldn't be too chill with me.
All right. Anyway.
All right.
Connor literally has the same personality as my dad. Are you happy? Just wondering. Just wondering. How did it turn out? Just wondering.
Are you happy? As a
Just
person?
wondering.
You can call him daddy.
As a
Just want
child.
to know.
All
right.
Garnt.
Go on then.
All right, we're moving this
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Sorry.
I was just doing a bit.
Yeah.
Like, I'm super happy that parenting method worked. No. Okay.
All right. Next statement is, video games are more interesting than anime/TV shows.
I know what Connor's going to put.
Video games are more interesting than anime/TV shows.
Oh, let's fucking do this.
It's about the language, right? That can be interpreted in so many ways.
Well, why do it have to be anime and TV shows?
Yeah.
Because obviously this...
Because anime can't stand up on its own
Alright.
legs.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah,
do
right?
it.
Like, does anime not fall under TV shows?
All right, I got it.
Video.
Um,
All right.
I'm going to say neutral.
Go on.
Let's just go into this. Strongly disagree.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
on disagree too.
Oh, whoa! I thought you were gonna go strongly agree. Okay.
No, I think all media has its own merits.
Yeah.
I think that you can't compare the best game to the worst anime.
Yeah.
I think that,
Exactly.
In my mind, I would never even consider saying that all games are better than something like watching Breaking Bad or something like that. I think there's some great shows out there that can make you
I thought
feel.
you were the gamer though.
I know I love video games, but I would never be like all video games. The medium of video games is better than any TV or movie. You know what I mean? Like I just feel like that's
I say neutral because it's almost impossible to compare.
and it's also different things. Like I feel different things by playing both.
yeah.
But it's like, it's either I'm a opium addict or a tobacco addict, and sometimes I want to dip in both.
was that a confession?
Yes.
Okay.
I've been playing too much Fear and Hunger.
Yeah.
Okay, Gone. Why did you say strongly disagree?
I mean, it's just a preference.
Yeah.
I play video games for a certain reason, and 90% of that reason is story, characters, writing. A lot of times I think gameplay is a means to an end. Gameplay is never the most important factor for me because what I gravitate to is stories.
Yeah.
I think a big part of it is escapism. This is why I'm a fucking isekai fan. I love,
Take me out of here.
Yeah, I love the feeling of escapism, like immersing yourself in a story, in a world, in like something. And I think one big difference in, let's say, a movie and versus like a video game is that with video games, you have like, let's say, a storyline, which could be like a fucking amazing storyline, but there's more than one aspect that you need to consider when making a video game, because you have to make sure the gameplay is good as well, right?
I think for me, like gameplay and interactive elements are more closely aligned to how I like feel when doing like sports or something than even how than closer to like watching a movie. For me personally, the interactivity feels more kind of in line with that. So comparing the two is kind of useless.
Yeah. Also, like, it's interesting you said that, like, the gameplay doesn't affect your immersion or whatever, Gaunt. But, like, I feel like in a lot of, at least good video games, having full control over the story in some aspects or a lot of aspects is a level of immersion, which you can't get through anime and TV shows, right? Like, anime and TV show, you're always the spectator. Right. And, sure, if it's a good story that's being told, you can get immersed from that. But I feel good gameplay interwoven with good story that you have a direct cause and effect of.
Yeah.
I think is a level of immersion.
He does play Hoyoverse.
In a lot of ways. Oh, yeah, that's true. I didn't consider that.
All right.
I mean, no. I mean, I play more video games than Hoyoverse and shit like that. But comparing something like, let's say, recently Final Fantasy 16 to Game of Thrones, which is like heavily inspired by.
Yeah.
I like kind of like being railroad, like when being told a story.
I'm glad you said road.
I've been railroaded.
I love being railed.
Like, to me, there's a certain like pacing when it comes to like TV shows and like anime and media that
It's the amount of hearts that came in. I'm sorry, you picked the worst word to start your point.
let's just stop there. There's a certain pacing to like a TV show that has intent behind it, whereas with a video game, it's like some people can have different experiences with a video game, and that some people really fucking like that shit,
Yeah.
Some people love like going into something like Breath of the Wild and having a completely different gaming experience than someone else. For me, it's just like a personal preference. I like something having structure and just being told whatever story and whatever experience I should have,
That's fair.
That's just a preference.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's pretty much it.
What are you fucking laughing about?
What?
There was one comment that was like, "Gone, what you into?" And I don't know why. It was just it broke me. It broke me so much.
All right.
I like the part where I get railroaded.
Jesus Christ, you're such a child.
It was just the pause. The pause killed me.
Yeah, the pause was probably not a good idea.
The pause killed me. It was such a good pause. It's going to be such a good out of context moment.
Another out of context clip. Here we go.
I like being railroaded.
I like being railroaded, actually.
Just put the cyberpunk sound on it. I love being railroad.
You see, it's not even that. It was just funny. It was just funny. All right, what's our last question?
All right, let's
Last
do
question.
the last statement.
All right.
Let's make it a good one.
Food poisoning is an illness.
I'm gonna put this
Stonk.
on the
Stonk degree.
screen. All right. Final statement. Trash Taste is an anime podcast.
Let's do the next one. Let's
Yeah.
We
I strongly disagree.
We know the answer to that.
Come on now.
Okay. Social media is a benefit to society.
Oh, that's a good one.
Ooh.
It's a great one.
Social media is a benefit to society.
I mean, this is so deep because this is like, what do you as an individual, what do you determine as a benefit to society?
Well, that's the subjective part, right?
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah.
Damn, these questions are good. I like being
This is a good
railroaded.
I like being railroaded,
Can I try
actually.
railroad? All right, I think I got my answer.
This was a pretty easy one for me, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's super easy to be in the disagree camp or strongly disagree, but I'm trying to think. There's more nuance to it, because if it was really bad for all of us, why would we all participate? So I'm trying to.
Okay, I got mine.
What did you say again? What was the statement? Just to make sure I don't do the wrong side of it.
Social media is a benefit to society.
Okay. Alrighty.
Is it purely social media?
What else would it be?
What else would it be?
Okay.
What were you thinking?
I don't know why I was just like the internet, and I was just like,
No, well, that's different.
Okay, let me think about this then.
Because we all know Miniclip was a massive contributor to society.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, social media. Social media.
Social
also,
media.
Really fun question. Do you count YouTube as a social media platform?
Yes.
Some people
Yes,
do. Okay,
I do.
Yes,
Okay.
I do.
All right.
Okay.
Right. Well, I have my answer then.
Yeah, same. Okay, I guess I'll start. I
Yeah.
said slightly agree.
I actually am pretty neutral on this.
Yeah.
I agree on this.
Ooh, okay. So, Connor, you're one level above me.
Yeah.
Why would you say?
You know, I mean, first of all, I live in a foreign country. I think without that, I wouldn't be able to talk to people I would miss and people I care deeply about.
Yeah.
And I think that ultimately, social
Do
media.
you count social media as messaging apps?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, Twitter, you can
like
message
Facebook,
people, right?
Twitter, all that stuff. You know, I think it allows me to make connections with people I would never, like, I think I would straight out, I would just be more ignorant. Like, I would know way less about the world, way less about other cultures. I wouldn't be able to, you know, have meaningful conversations with people, with certain people. And I you know, also, I think if you want to disagree and you think that it's a downside, I think it's up to how you use it.
Yeah.
I think if you hate it and you fucking despise it, change how you use it.
Yeah, that's on you.
Yes, are there some people who I think are a bit more vulnerable to being caught up in maybe some of these systems that reward you for participating? Yeah, I think there are. I think it definitely takes advantage of some people. But I think as a whole, it offers more benefit than it detracts from, because if it was worse, I think people would just stop using something. Like when Tumblr got rid of porn, I think we all deemed that it was no longer of any value to any of us, and everyone just stopped using it.
And now Tumblr's dead. So
I never used it, but that's what happened. You know, I think when we realized that these sites are not good and we don't enjoy using them, I think we just stopped using them.
Yeah, and I think like that's the good thing about social media is that like it's all based on how you want to use it, and it's very easy to quit a social media. Especially if you're not a creator as well. Like there is zero obligation for you to have social media, you know, unless it's like, you know, creators or people who like use social media for like a work tool. You know, it's a little bit harder for us, for example. But like if you're just like an average everyday person and it's like, oh, I have a Twitter, I fucking hate the experience on it, I gain nothing out of it.
I stopped using X hamster when I found out there's no hamsters.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like I think it's very easy to just be like, yeah, I don't really want to use it, and you can quit out of it. And again, like I totally agree with Connor's aspect of like, you know, it's, I think the way how you view a certain social media is all dependent on how you use it.
Yeah.
Like if you hate the experience, that's just because you're using it in the wrong way.
I know it's mean of just don't use it, but I have many friends who've just stopped using it.
Yeah, I have tons of friends who don't have social
media. I think it's a little harder than what you're like. Honestly, I think social media has got to a point where it's like too good at hacking the human mind and human psychology. They are hacking into like almost primal parts of our brain that reward like being and staying on social media. Because like, let's say you open up TikTok. You're like, I'm going to watch 5 TikToks. Tell me without making the conscious choice to open up TikTok that you're actually going to watch it for like 30 seconds. You know, it's gotten too fucking good at hacking some part of your brain that we have to make a conscious choice. Like you have to make a conscious choice not to use social media rather than it being like a natural process. And I think the problem is that there is a whole generation of kids that have grown up where not having social media has never been a part of their lives.
There's a social pressure now.
There's a social pressure now. And I think, you know, there's a reason why there is, you know, this is the generation that is like the most loneliest and the most depressed, despite being the most well-connected and knowing most about the world. You know, I think it's
Joe Rogan.
There's a social pressure now.
It's a social pressure.
It's so good. Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with that. And like I said when I was talking about it earlier, like there are some people who I think are vulnerable to how these things work. And it definitely affects them, and it has more of a stranglehold over them than I think they realize. But I think more good still comes from it. So that's why I agree.
I mean, also, I wouldn't have met you two fuckers if it wasn't for social media. So that's a good thing already, right then and there, you know? So
I mean, if I would have like, if this was maybe like 5 years ago, you know, when social media was just starting, I think that I would be more inclined to agree. But I think somewhere within like the past like 3, maybe more years, to me at least, it feels like there's been like a tipping point, right? Where social media, there was a lot of positives about social media. And then it felt like there was a tipping point where the positives almost had the same weight as the negatives that it had brought overall to society as well.
I will counterpoint you where I think that it's an up and down cycle. I think there's going to be periods where negativity is really rewarded and people want negativity. I think there'll also be periods after that where, because there'll be so much negativity, that we'll want more positivity. I think this happens in every aspect of human life. that people will get worked up about something, and then it kind of...
It's like a wave.
Yeah,
right?
it's always up and down. I think there's always, like, social media has had parts where it's been more negative focused. I think we're going through a big negative swing right now. But as even you are mentioning, and the chat are mentioning, and we're all mentioning, we all feel like it's getting negative. It's going to get to a boiling point where it gets too negative, where we all want more positive content, and it will start to swap back. I think that's just the way it's going to be.
Yeah.
I mean, I would be interested to see if it does swing. I guess I don't have that much faith. I'm a bit more pessimistic.
People are good at listen. People being like, the damage does it bring? Is it worth it? I'd argue that we've always found ways to spread negativity.
Yeah,
regardless of the platform.
I don't know, because
look at tabloid newspapers and whatever it was. Like if you were in charge like 200 years ago, you could just say whatever the fuck you wanted, and no one could say anything back.
Yeah,
and you'd have to deal with that. There's always going to be different medias and mediums to express opinions, and I think now at least we have more of a level playing field, and I think that this is, again, it's a new thing
for me. Like that's like the positive way to look at it. I'm a bit more, I guess, like I'm just a more pessimistic guy. No, because like to me, I look like for that to happen, I think that we would have to trust in like the top executives of like social media companies to be less greedy and to do things with more sustainability around like a whole generation of psychology. I think that people have to go against a natural reward system of posting negative content, which will always get more eyes and always get more attention than posting positive content. And that's a fucking hard thing to tell an entire generation of people.
I got faith in humanity.
You got faith in humanity?
I think he just kind of broke down humanity's problems.
I just know that ultimately, no matter how negative you ever get in your life, it all comes around to you want to be friends with someone. You want to be accepted by people.
You have no enemies.
You have
no enemies.
If we see one or two more memes like I have no enemies being spread around, then maybe I would have
got some more positive memes.
More faith.
Like, man, you have no enemies. That's how we know. But yeah, I think you just kind of broke down like humanity of like, we all want to change. We all realize that this is a problem. We all want to change it. No one knows how to.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it goes against like natural psychology because it does feel good getting attention.
Yes, absolutely.
And it does feel good having a lot of likes. It's just built into our brain.
Totally.
So we have to literally go against our brain's program. We literally have to like go against our brain's programming, or trust that companies will be nice enough to change the system so that it doesn't reward that. And if one of those two things don't change, then I don't know. I just don't see it.
Fair. But yeah, that was
a very deep episode of
That was a very deep episode.
This just felt like a Trash Taste episode.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're watching this on the Trash Taste After Dark channel, first of all, subscribe if you haven't yet, and let us know your thoughts down in the comments. And if you want to watch these live, then follow us on twitch.tv/Trash Taste Podcast. Like all these beautiful people. Return to Monkey.
Return to Monkey.
You have no enemies.
That was, I think we used more brain cells in that last 2 hours than like the last fucking 10 years.
The deepest episode we've ever done.
I'm really glad we decided to do the Jeopardy first and not this.
This would have been a really tough tonal shift.
Yeah.
This would have been a really tough one to go. The Denny's menu, guys.
Yeah, the Denny's menu. Let's go.
Oh my God.
But thank you guys so much for joining. And yeah, this is probably going to be the new format for After Dark.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a little less convenient because it's not every week, but I think it's more manageable for us to be able to do big streams like this and where we do a bunch of different stuff.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And we just want to keep getting After Dark content out there. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Watching anime was fun.
That was fun.
I really want to watch Spacky on stream.
Oh my God.
Dude,
that'll be
he's like,
amazing.
he like gets his cock out. We're all like, yes! He's getting his cock out!
He's about to level up!
I just think it would be so fun to watch Spacky on stream.
Anyway, we hope you guys enjoyed the longer stream. We'll be back
sometime soon.
Probably like next month.
We'll be back with the milk and cigarettes
Like
soon, I promise.
Yeah. Until then, Trash Takes will be out. And then these episodes will be out on YouTube, I think, every week, right? Is that the plan?
Yeah, that's the plan.
Cool. So there should be After Dark, hopefully, pretty consistently.
Yeah. So we'll see you guys soon.
Bye, guys.
See ya.
Bye.